Oh, goody.
All right, what's going on, everybody? Zombies here again. Today we have got another team comp for you. This one I'm really excited for. So I originally got the idea for this from watching a recent EU tournament from Grumpi. If you do not know Grumpi, he is a great player and streamer over on EU, and occasionally he hosts tournaments. So I was watching that over the weekend, and he had a really interesting rule set for his tournament where you had to bring 3 decks, you had to switch every game, and matches were best of 3. But the most interesting rule was across all 3 of your teams, you can only have 1 of each mercenary. So that encouraged some really interesting deck diversity and deck building decisions, and we got to see some really cool comps that probably you would not expect to see otherwise, especially on ladder. So watching that event was super fun. Highly recommend going to check him out. I'll leave a link in the description to his Twitch and YouTube. Definitely go show him some love. We got to support, all the members of the Mercenaries community who are sticking around and putting in the effort, because there are not a lot of us right now, at least. So definitely go show him some support. But getting to the comp here, basically, one of the builds on his stream during the tournament that I saw, I believe the build was by Finney. Basically, it was a triple beast opener, I believe, and then 3 dragons on the bench. And I think his was pretty much these 5. I don't think he had Blink Fox. I think he had a different beast. I'm not positive, though. I'm just kind of going off memory here. But, we have Longjin, and also Sinestra and Yulan both have arcane abilities. I actually forgot Yulan has an arcane ability at all. So there is actually way more combo potential with Blink Fox. Obviously, you don't have it, right at the start of the game, but a lot of the times we're hoping to be using Mind Thief anyway at the start of the game, but Arcane Fling, still not bad. One kind of choice here that you might not expect is we are running Arcane Fang as our equipment. A lot of the times, usually we see Mana Runes run or 10th Tail. When I started this build, and I believe one of the games actually has 10th Tail on it, and I did not really like it for this build. It's a great equipment, but one, it starts off cooldown, basically, or it starts, not having an ability there on turn 1. So if you're leading with Blink Fox, it definitely feels a lot worse, and your opponent can kind of play around it. There were definitely a few times I tried like 2 or 3 games with this equipment, and it just felt worse getting that one specific ability rather than rolling on a random one. And then I thought about, Mana Runes, as incredible as it is, we really aren't doing a lot of mana blinking in this comp. So I was like, screw it, we will try Arcane Fang, and I have not been disappointed by this. I have always thought this was like the weakest Blink Fox equip, but it's actually pretty decent. Upping from 10 to 15 damage, especially when you consider crits and stuff, is a lot. You're basically hitting for the same as Grom Slam. Obviously, nowhere near as good as Grom Slam, especially if you're not comboing it. But I have had a few situations where Blink Fox won't get picked down super early on, and then we can get Longjin out, or even any of our dragons, because like I said, they all have at least 1 arcane ability. Longjin obviously has 3. So it's just been pretty good. Like, we've been able to combo this arcane ability. And another big thing about arcane is if we skip on over to our bench here, we can see this build is actually running Band of Bursting Novas. So Battlecry, gain +3 arcane damage for each of your beasts and dragons that have died this game. This equipment is insane. My first video with him, I was using Bottle of the Infinite Stars, and I still think this is great. And honestly, even the middle ability here, they're all good abilities. Like, I could see this being good if nature ever becomes a super big thing, or like reemerges as one of the top tier backlines or something. But nature can't even crit him to begin with, so we don't really kind of need that anti-nature stuff, at least right now. But this equipment is crazy because, in case you haven't noticed, our whole team is beasts and dragons. So we do open with our triple beast opener here. We have Blink Fox, Zwen, and King Mukla. So Zwen has been pretty decent. He hasn't done like a whole ton. He's really good against some of these double blue openers, but he does get focused down a lot. However, I don't think it's really a bad thing, especially if you get at least one pounce off. You are dealing quite a bit of damage, and you don't really care about stealing attack from Blinkfox, really not a whole ton from Big Brother, and even Mukla, it's kind of negligible because he's buffing himself with the bananas pretty regularly, so you can kind of get that attack back if he does take a little bit, and it's taking attack from your enemies, so like sometimes that can be really good, you know? Taking 5 damage away from Valeera is actually pretty significant sometimes. Obviously, you can't choose who you're taking that away from, but if your opponent does have a attacking heavy comp, it is really, really strong to have the Celestial Chestplate. Big thing about Zwen is his skill 2 is like his best ability by far. This is good too, but a little bit conditional, and the random definitely hurts it a little bit unless you know you have a really good board set up for it. And Equalizing Strike is just not good. I do not think this is really a good ability. You can actually see I haven't even leveled it all the way because for the most part I really don't use it a whole ton. It's fine that's there, but we're really Pounce is the main button on this Merc, and it is by far the best ability. And again, we're running him for the Beast tag for our synergy. And then Mukla. Mukla is one of those characters that kind of fell out of the meta a little bit, but I've always really liked him. And important to note, with Long Jin, this says for each of your beasts and dragons that have died this game. So that does not specify mercenaries. So if your Mukla dies and the Big Brother dies, or one of your beasts die and Big Brother dies, which is usually what happens because they usually have to hit through it with Valeera or Grom or Thrall or someone, and you can actually bring out Long Jin as your first mercenary and still get a like just easy +6 arcane damage, which is quite a bit. Now, if you can save him, you know, for the end, you're going to get a lot more, but sometimes it just makes more sense to not be overly greedy with it and just take that +6, because you can do some crazy things with Long Jin. So, kind of the main game ender here are our dragons. They have some really incredible synergy with each other, to be honest. I was hesitant when we first got, you know, dragons in the last patch before this most recent one, because it felt like the synergies weren't fully there. There's some really cool dragons with cool abilities that kind of work with each other, but it felt like some overall synergies were lacking to me. I think those weaknesses have definitely been patched up quite a bit with the addition of the new mercs. Important to note here, Mana Barrier is arcane, so you can actually combo your Blinkfox off that, which is pretty nuts. Also, this is 60 health to a dragon, so you do not have to just keep spamming this on Sinestra like you kind of had to before when she was your only dragon. You can kind of selectively choose who you want to heal up, and that can be really, really clutch. Twilight Extinction is still just incredibly busted. This ability is insane. If your opponent does not have an answer to Sinestra, she can solo more backlines than you can think of. So, and then I was actually surprised with Racking Swipe. This has been better than I thought. You probably saw the video yesterday. Was using her as a lead, and it was pretty good there. Again, off the bench, we're most likely not going to use that a whole ton, but sometimes there are situations where it is worth using because we do actually get that additional bleed 10, which is pretty good. However, there is more healing in this meta, it seems, and there might even be more with the addition of Chi-Ji soon. So we'll have to wait and see on that, but Sinestra just really, really powerful. Yu'lon. This character I slept on really, really hard. I didn't really see where he had a place. I still think it's weird how he has a nature, a fire, and an arcane ability. Like, that's still strange to me, but I'm certainly not minding it. I do like having that additional arcane ability for combo potential sometimes, but one important thing to note here, how this works is if you use this ability before Valeera goes off, her stealth will go away and she'll be slower that turn. So obviously if she's at 0 speed, she can still go off before this, but if one of her other units are going off at 2 speed, or she uses a 2 speed ability instead, this will actually go off, get rid of her stealth, and then they will be slowed to their normal speed for that turn, which it's actually been relevant more than once. The important thing to know, though, is if you use this ability while Valeera already has stealth active, once this wears off, her stealth comes back. So it doesn't just like remove the stealth from her, it's more like a temporary debuff. So do be aware of that. After those 2 turns, it's going to return basically. And another thing to note is this blocks taunt and stealth for all other characters, not just your opponents. I think I do make a mistake at some point and accidentally block my own taunt with Mukla because I didn't know it worked this way. So wanted to let you all know about that so you don't get caught with that. Basically, this is a big reason why we're running Yulon. Pearl of Yulon, passive, your other dragons take 4 less damage. This is crazy. When you have an ability like this, and you have very bursty, sustainable units like Sinestra and Longjin, this is just crazy. Like it's like Cornelius but better Cornelius, because Cornelius is just protecting himself, whereas Yulon, he's protecting your more valuable units. And this can kind of combo with Longjin because Among the Stars is crazy strong, and just swapping spaces and swapping targets is just a absurd ability. I mean, even if this didn't give additional health, I think this would still be incredibly good. So there are just some really, really sick things you can do with this backline. The synergy really feels like it's there, and it's probably my favorite comp I've played so far since the new patch hit. So that's it for the comp overview. We're going to get into some games with it. But if you enjoy the Mercenaries content, do remember to like and subscribe. It really does do a ton to help out the channel and keep the Mercs videos coming. So without further ado, let's get into some games. All right. I don't remember if this was our opponent we faced last time. It could be, given their comp. The last person I ran into had a Frost opener. Not Valera Frost, though. So I think we'll just do our Beast opener, like we have been doing. Again, still definitely learning the ropes with this comp. Really digging it so far, but there's definitely a lot to learn here. Okay, so no, it's something else. This is another build I think is really cool. I've been seeing more of, is the kind of Valera, Grom, Rogers. Rogers is a really great character, and I'm happy she's finally seeing more play. We can do a lot of damage with Skyguard, actually. Kind of like that. And then we will leave this be. Yeah, look at that. The big bro absorbed so many hits there. That is wild. It's pretty huge, if you ask me. Alright, so this is going to get sniped down, most likely. They take some residual damage from it, though. Oh, no, they'll just Grom it. Never mind. I think what is more important here? I think killing the Grom, because Mukla's not really doing a ton for us here.
Job's done.
He does represent less damage, though. But I think this is just the way we go. Wow, okay, I'll be honest. That was not the route I thought they were going to go this turn. Oh, and we get some nice damage on Valera. She isn't stealth. This is actually going way better than I thought. Looks like it could be nature backline. Do they have cookie? Yeah, they do. So it looks like it's going to be nature backline. They only get 2 to swap in, though. So I think we want to just throw down Sinestra because we want to get our AoEs going, and then once these die next turn, we can get these two in and start doing our dragon shenanigans. Cookie Snipe is unfortunate. We can get some damage here though. I mean, maybe we just bleed, but bleed always feels so greedy to me. Like, going in with the attack. I mean, it's a lot of damage. It's 23 and then additional 20. That, like, half health is Brucon. They don't really have a good way of dealing with her, though, right now. So I kind of like doing it the way I want to do it here. Hit Valera, because... Let's see, if I hit Valera... No, she's going to take the residual damage anyway, so I think we just go for it on the Brucon instead. And then we'll taunt up. We'll see what happens. Yep, expected, expected, expected. Okay. I think our dragons can get us there, to be honest. I think they can do it. Also, plus 12 arcane damage is absurd. Like, holy moly. And we have nice protection now. We can get rid of their stealth and give our guys more healing. Seems pretty great. This also could be a good option. To kind of play around them focusing him down. I am used to the last equipment where it did give this additional health to your dragons. I think we swap these two to mess them up. And do we heal on the Sinestria? I think we actually just kill the Brucon and save heal for next turn. They'll be slower next turn anyway. Yeah, let's give it a shot like this. I probably should have ordered this one first, maybe? Oh, swapping actually isn't that great here because of how fast they are, but it might help with Brucon. We'll see. I actually wasn't accounting for the Valera speed as much. That might have been a mistake. Did they go for the bleed? So I guess it wasn't. Yep, that worked out pretty much exactly how I wanted it to. Sweet. Very sweet. And we should just be able to win from here, assuming Malf is their last unit. Malf cannot do nearly enough against our dragons here. Valera is basically dead in the water. Yep. Very nice. GG. Oh, looks like it is Surajak. Oh, is he not online? Oh, yes, there we go. Oh. Well, this is one thing you can always count on Surajak for. The man brings the spice. There is no doubt about that. I guess the only downside of Mind Thief with the equipment we're using, 10th Tail, is we don't get it on turn 1. A little unfortunate. Let's just read this over again. It's a tax, so I think we can just go like this. Ooh. This scares me quite a bit. It scares me quite a lot, actually. I think we still have to just attack in for the damage, though. I don't think we attack him with the taunt. I think we just leave it to guard us. Let's give it a shot. Obviously, I have no idea how to play against this comp. Well, that's not good. But maybe this could be a blessing in disguise, right? Oh, jeez, it's huge. All right. Well, what do we want to send in now? That has to go. So maybe we do Longjin. We could taunt up with the Mukla. Does that really do very much, though? What was their last ability? It was this, so Blinkfox can swing in and get a bleed. Yeah, this is a neat comp. This is a really neat comp. To be honest, attack an enemy. If it has not acted this turn, apply bleed 8 to it and adjacent enemies. Okay, so we could do that. Let's think about this. So we're gonna taunt to be safe. I should have moved this actually because of the bleed to adjacent. I think we just go damage there and then we'll do it here to get the bleed there. No, we want this to die, so I think we just attack it and then that way the bleed will kill it. Really cool comp though from Surjak here. Alright, that's fine. Yeah, that's pretty huge for us, actually. That's pretty huge. I think Yulon is how we want to go. Maybe not, though. Maybe it's actually... We can deal with the red, potentially, so maybe it's actually Sin here. Whoa. Alright, I was not expecting this. This still has a bleed on it. Deal 10 damage to all enemies if they have acted. Do the cooldown. So we can just snipe this down before it acts. We lose out on the cooldown stuff, but I'm not really that scared about it, to be honest. I kind of just want to start setting up our Twilight Extinctions. Oh, and they have Arcane Fang. That's a really unusual one. So we will do this just to get the damage out. And then... I think we swap targets here. It's 1 speed, right? Yeah. I think we will swap with the Blinkfox. It'll buff up our Sinestra too. Interesting, so it looks like they're going for the Fox there. Not really. Maybe they predicted me though, because that was definitely not what I was expecting. And the Surjak staple here. If you haven't played against Surjak before, he does love his refreshing bananas on Mukla. Definitely an underrated equipment, to be honest. We can heal our guy up, though, and now attack an enemy. Next turn, they must use a different ability or take 20. We're definitely hitting this, I think, with that. Because we want to shut down their... I guess they can just use a different ability, though. Is there any benefit to speeding up this turn? I don't really think so. With Mana Blink. So I think we'll do this. And then... just go for the damage. And I think we can get there. Really cool comp from Surjak, though. I really do love seeing this different stuff. He beat me with a different lineup the other night that was really cool with this Mukla. Oh, that's scary. Oh, but Yeah, I forgot Sinestra goes off. And it should be pretty easy to get a win from here. Just snipe that down and then get the fox. This is my favorite thing about a new meta, though. I love seeing people try out all kinds of new weird and wacky stuff. Because this is certainly not what I was expecting to see from him. And we'll throw down Yulon. And that should do it. Chi. All right, 2/2/2. We faced this guy before. I don't remember what they had. I think it was either Frost or a Shadow Valyra comp, but we've played a few different people tonight. So regardless, this is generally our lead because we really do want those beasts to die to make Longjin, you know, the best he can be for his equipment off the bench. Okay, so this is full on GVT. Interesting. Looks like it might be a Shadow Sinestra backline with 2 blues and a green. I could definitely see that. Lightning Storm, pretty nice roll off of the Fox here. Definitely not sad to see that. We're going to focus on the Grom here, I think. I think that just makes sense to me. Boom, boom. Yeah, it's a little unfortunate. So Zwen's he's gotten focused down quite a lot so far, sadly, but I don't think that makes him a bad unit by any means. This is tough. We can check our Blink Fox ability though by looking at this. So we do have for the Horde, so no attack, but it will be faster. I think we have to Yulon and get rid of the stealth. Feels a little awkward. I don't really feel comfortable throwing either of the other two into this.
Listen to your inner voice.
I think we try and taunt, and then we do that. Try and slow this thrall down. And swing in there.
Job's done.
Let's try it like that. Obviously our passive here isn't getting quite as much value until our dragons come out, but and Jade Flame Buffet is the one skill I do not have fully leveled yet. I'm 1 off, but other than that, pretty PvP playable. Definitely don't have to worry about fully maxing out a lot of these mercs. Don't get me wrong, it's nice to have, but you don't need to do it to play PvP in a lot of cases. As long as you get their good skills up, you should be able to be fine. Alright, so extra health is never a bad thing. I guess they went for slower moves here with the Valyra. Oh, okay. Well, that was a misplay on my part. So, I did not realize this, but it looks like block taunt and stealth on all other characters for 2 turns. I thought that was enemies. So we kind of just played ourselves a little bit. Not gonna lie. But I think it might be okay. We'll see. That thrall is a very, very large unit. Oh, and Rogers. You don't like to see Rogers here. I mean, maybe we do this to just snipe them down. They're slower now, though. We can taunt up. Or big damage Valera. I think we taunt up. Really want to protect this. And he actually can get taunt because it says other characters. The wording there is definitely important. Yeah, we'll try it out like this. Yeah, so that was very, very helpful for us. That's a lot of damage on Valera. You love to see it. They don't have any reds now to deal with the Sinestra either. They might have Sinestra of their own, but not Shadow Sinestra, as we can see by this Rogers here. Oh, it's Samuro. Wow. We might actually be in a great spot then. Unfortunately, they get their stealth back, which is not the greatest thing in the world for us. I mean, I think we have to Twilight Extinction, go for damage there, and I don't know. This is tough, to be honest. There's merit in swapping units for sure. I guess let's just try it.
Job's done.
Smugla is still a lot of damage. They might be able to snipe him down, but they do only have 4 more speed, so this will be a tie, these two. If they go for skill 1 with Rogers. They could stack it if they go for skill 3 with Samuro, though. That's a possibility. Valera dies, basically, if she swings in, though. So I don't think she's going to swing. Wow, she swung. That's crazy. Wow, we messed them up so much there. Oh my god, and it's exact on the Samuro. That's insane. That is insane. Yeah, they know we're just going to get Sinestra AoE next turn. Let's go. You love to see it. Beast Dragons are where it's at. Oh, looks like we have a rematch. I wonder if he's still running the same comp. We're going to run it back, though. We did switch our equipment. I do think that Arcane Fang might just be better. This is on cooldown, turn 1, unfortunately. But that's okay. We can go for damage there. It's possible we don't attack to play around this. They can just keep spamming the button, though, right? Yeah. We can just keep retaliating. So it's probably not the right play to do that. I mean, it worked last time, right? So we will keep with our current strategy, I suppose. Fortunately, Zven's gonna die to the bleed, it looks like. Yeah. Do we know what ability we have yet? Oh, it stays until used, right? Yeah, swaps after cast. So we have a 10 damage snipe, which isn't really enough. A little unfortunate we're just off of sniping this down. We could try and probably long gen time. I think it is. Oh wait, no, this is actually great because this is super effective. I wasn't considering that, so this will actually snipe this down and get that really low. So we can just go taunt up and then big damage, I think, should be good.
Job's done.
Because it'll kill this and then overkill onto that. The only thing is middle position is bad for bleed. Yeah. We did get pretty much full clear here, though. Let's see, what was his backline? He had Rathian, he had Mukla, Rathian, Mukla, and Fox, Blink Fox. So I think we want our Sinestra here. Actually, probably Yulon. Really like protecting our dragon here. Then we'll save Sinestra for after we deal with Mukla.
I must remain hidden to let flee.
The only downside with swapping this out early was we did get less arcane damage than if we waited, but I think it was still very much worth it. Looks like we got Frightening Shout again. That's fine. Let's see, what do we want to do here? Probably just big damage there. Big damage there. Oh, and we get more arcane damage because of the Fox. Oh, and we can combo it too if we want. It's actually pretty sweet. Let's do this. Let's Starfire Blessing.
Job's done.
Yeah, I'm really liking this comp so far. I mean, I know obviously what we're up against is not the most typical comp, but it seems to be doing pretty well. Look at that, 64 damage. That's crazy. And now we can just snipe him down with Frightening Shout. That will die. I like swapping these two to mess with them, and then we'll just kill this, and then we should just be able to wrap it up. Props to Surjack, though, for trying out something cool. I really want to try stuff out with Rathion as well. I think even though he's not really that great, he does have potential, and I want to give him a fair shot. So he goes full dragon mode here and speeding up. Unfortunately, I don't think that's going to do enough for them. And we actually steal their Arcane Fling off the Fox, which is pretty funny. So we can just snipe this down at 0 speed and then just focus everything else on the Blink Fox. Yeah, the arcane damage passive actually seems really good with Fox. I'm pretty impressed, not gonna lie. I am more impressed with it than I thought I would be. And GG to our good friend Surjack. Really top tier King of the Hill player, for anyone who might not be aware. Alright. So I believe this person is playing Shadow Valera, if I recall correctly. So Natalie, Vol'jin, and Valera. So we'll go our Beast opener here.
Here we go. Embrace nothing.
Alright, so how do we want to do this? I think we just need to focus this, right? Let's see, how much are we doing here? Attack there. I think we just send everything at this. I mean, maybe it's right to do this instead because we're going to have enough damage anyway and we want to get a different ability. So we're just going to send it all in, see what happens. It's so strange to me that they focused the Mukla down. I guess they're worried about like beast synergy stuff, but that really wouldn't be my my primary concern, to be honest. If I was the opponent. I think we go Sinestra here. She just seems generally good. They don't really, they only have one red, right? Like, oh, and 0 speed, 10 damage, definitely ain't a bad thing. So we'll do that. And that'll hit everything. They're obviously going to kill the big brother, I believe. I guess they could focus our guy. Oh, just AoEing. Makes sense. Alright. And now I think we want Yulan to protect this. We don't have to be quite as scared of their double shadow stuff anymore. We can also get rid of stealth if we want. Not a bad idea. Alright, so we need to stack twos here, in my opinion. Actually, maybe not. Maybe gaining the health is the right move. And then we mana blink? Or do we damage? What does mana blink really do for us for next turn? We're going to be slower anyway, so it really doesn't do a whole ton, so we might as well get this off. This is arcane though, isn't it? Oh, so we could go for 23 damage. It's actually pretty decent. I think Natalie is what has to go here.
Job's done.
Let's try it like that. We do have some extra protection on the Sinestra from Yulan. Oh, okay. That was not the direction I was expecting, and we got rid of their stealth before they could act is a pretty big deal, I think. Yeah, look at that. Even with crit damage, they did so little right there. That is so fantastic for us. Because now we're fast enough, we can snipe down this Valera. And it's not in stealth because of Yulan. Yulan is really overperforming my expectations, to be honest, because like, I did not think this character was good when I first read it. I thought it was actively a really bad character, to be honest. But I'm really impressed so far. We're gonna... Is there a point in taunting up here? Gain taunt and... Oh, that's also arcane. That's cool. No, we're going for damage on the Diablo, though. We need to get him gone, and then that should make Longjin able to come in and just absolutely clean house. I'm liking how this comp is feeling. I'm liking it a lot. This might just be the way to go with that Dragon Beast synergy. Blink Fox has just been a star performer so far. I think we made the right decision by swapping the item on him over to the more damage on skill 1. And they're just actual ways to combo it now, which we really didn't have before. There's just so few arcane skills before, but now we have an arcane skill on all 3 of our dragons, which is pretty sweet. I honestly forgot Sinestra's is arcane. And with 2 speed, even 5 if she's slower, you can combo it. It's fantastic. So Valera down, really good for us. We heal. Yep, Diablo's dead. And I don't see how they can come back from here. They don't either. GG. Alright, so to wrap things up here, I definitely think Arcane Fang was the right decision on Blinkvox. I noticed it just felt so much better once I switched it, because I think a lot of people, myself included, are not used to using Blinkvox as a lead, but it was actually a great lead here, and it had some really nice synergy with the rest of our units. Really was a big fan of it. Zwen is solid. I think he got focused a lot, so we didn't really get to see like his full potential, but I definitely don't think he did bad. You know, if anything, just kind of drawing the focus on him from our opponent and letting our, you know, Fox and Mukla kind of chill and get their damage in, it seemed pretty decent. Like, and the attack you can steal from an enemy character can also be rather relevant. Seems like a really strong mercenary. I don't know if this is gonna be the build where he sees, you know, where he feels the most powerful, but he certainly does feel strong in this build. And we just want that triple beast opener, and I really like the balance between these three units. Mukla's big brother has just done so much work. Like, the fact that it gives us a free beast to protect us and just kind of help ramp up Longjin for later has been incredibly strong. And sometimes those banana rolls can be super duper clutch. It's also nice just having that taunt readily available on 2 speed. And then the namesake here, the dragons. The dragons are crazy. This ability is just so absurd. I think Mana Barrier is the craziest healing ability in the game, and it's not particularly close. The fact that you can heal other dragons with this is just absurd, and you're also giving them less damage. So 5 less damage taken. When you combine that with Yu'lon out, that's 9 less damage. That is a lot. That is I mean, it doesn't sound like a whole ton, right? But that's a huge amount of damage, because it gets calculated, you know, that damage is reduced from the initial amount of damage you take, and then the bonus damage for crits and stuff is applied after. So that actually is responsible for just blocking a ton of damage. And I have seen some more bleeds than I was seeing, you know, the last patch. So it's really, really clutch to have that healing. Yu'lon has just been incredible. He really fills that role of giving us a way to deal with Valeera a little bit. I was actually really surprised how decent Jade Flame Buffet was. I thought this ability was going to be very kind of mediocre, and I did not think it was going to do a great job at countering Valeera. It definitely isn't like a Valeera counter on its own, but some of the turns that it set up, denying her stealth for 1 or 2 turns, really helped us kind of swing the game in our favor in the late game, which is what we're kind of trying to do here. And it gives you more free reign to actually interact and deal damage to Valeera, which there haven't really been a lot of ways of doing outside of, you know, using local R to try and punish her speed and get the random hits off, or maybe some AoE, but this was actually better than I thought it was going to be. And this is huge damage. I think we like almost one-hit a Diablo off the bench with this. It was just... Jade Gust is strong. It's a strong ability. I really wasn't super sold on it because of how slow it was. I mean, I really wasn't sold on this character, but Pearl of Yu'lon is just crazy. And also the fact that he can basically buff himself up, and buff himself up a lot if you have other dragons while giving taunt, is pretty nice as well. Obviously, this is going to probably be the least used ability in this comp, but it doesn't mean it's a bad one, and it does give us another way for some arcane combos. And then Longjin, just crazy, crazy merc. I really do think he's the biggest reason dragons are viable right now. Just, I love everything about this character, and I'm really, really excited to see all the different builds that he can fit in. But that's going to do it for this video. If you enjoyed it, do remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.